Friends, I welcome you all to our today's session. As we just planned that we will be learning the topic net worth. Net worth here means net worth of the company we are going to compute. Trying to understand what is the net worth of the company, how it is to be computed. So let us learn that. What is net worth? This has itself it has been defined in companies. We can go through the definition. That is one thing, but that is not enough. We need to understand the definition, and also we should know how practically one will be able to compute the net worth of a company. For that thing, prerequisite is that you should have some idea about the company's balance sheet, because the companies, when they prepare financial statements contains various items, like it contains balance sheet, it contains statement of profit and loss, it contains statement of changes in equity, it contains cash flow statement, it contains explanatory notes. All these things taken together are called as the financial statement of the company. And these financial statements are very helpful for, number one, to understand the position of the company. Okay, there is a particular document, particular statement which will help us to understand the financial position of the company. Just now I named few financial statement. Can you tell me which statement will help me to understand the financial position of the company? Can you tell me which financial statement?
Is it balance sheet?
Which one? Please repeat. Yeah, please repeat.
Is it balance sheet, sir?
Is it balance sheet? You are asking balance sheet? Yes, you are exactly right. So the purpose of balance sheet is to help you to understand the position of the company. That is why it is called as the position statement, and that is why your balance sheet is prepared at a particular point of time. The balance sheet shows position at a particular time. If you see any company's balance sheet, must on the top we must have seen it. It must have been written that balance sheet as at this date, as at 31st March 2021, like this. Okay, that means it's a position statement. It talks about only about at a particular point of time, as on 31st March 2021, or at the end date, at the day end. This is the position. That's the position statement, right? And when we try to compute net worth, it is very much related to the company's position. That also shows the position of the company, financial position of the company. Similarly, there are other financial statements with some different purpose. Suppose you want to know what is the performance of a company, then which statement you will refer to? Which statement? So many statements. Just now I was discussing with you. Now you don't want to know the position, you want to know the performance. Which statement will be helping you? Can you guess? Should I give you option?
Sir, yes, sir.
Yeah, option is number 1, balance sheet. Number 2, statement of profit and loss. Number 3, cash flow statement. Number 4, statement of changes in equity. Number 5, explanatory notes. Out of this, which statement will help you to understand or to appreciate the performance of the company? Whether company is performing good or performing bad. Which
Profit and loss. Profit and loss.
Statement of profit and loss. So statement of profit and loss is a performance statement. It talks about a particular period. Therefore, if you see in the top line, you can find out it says profit and loss statement for the year ended of this thing, or for the period this to this. That is a periodic statement. And if you want to know performance, you have to refer to a particular period. Okay, so that is the performance statement. Like this, different financial statements are there with different objective. So we need to know what is the use of that financial statement. Now, first of all, what I will do, I will first try to show you the format in which company is supposed to prepare the financial statement. And using that format, we should be able to compute the net worth. Okay, so let me now take you to the website of Ministry of Corporate Affairs. So, should I go there now? To understand the format.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, so now let us say, let me take you to this place. You are seeing the Google search engine now?
Yes,
As I told you, let me take you to mca.gov.in. You know, this is our now favorite site. Very frequently we visit to this place. So here also I'm taking to this site. But this time we'll be learning a little bit of accounting also in this law paper, because accounting here is also a part of the law. Now I am going to act. Act and rules are here. I'm taking you to the act here, Companies Act 2013. Let us see it. Are you able to see all the provisions of law here? Are here? These are the chapter by chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3. I am taking you to the last portion. You have already seen Schedule 1. We have seen what is memorandum articles, all these things, Schedule Table A, B, all these things we have visited earlier. Is it not? Schedule 1.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
But today I am taking you to Schedule 3. Are you able to see it? Schedule 3. Let us enter into here. Here you can find out, you see Schedule 3, you can find out, just a minute. Let me share first of all. Yeah. You see, this is the format in which balance sheet has to be prepared. So you must have seen every company prepare balance sheet in exactly in the same manner. Is it not? Those who have already seen company's balance sheet, they must be knowing that every company prepares balance sheet exactly in the same manner. Exactly, everything will be same. Whether it is a company of turnover of 2 lakh rupees or turnover of 200 crore or 2000 crore, that doesn't matter. His balance sheet looks like this.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Why it is so? Because that is law. Because that is law. Law has clearly prescribed, company's law has prescribed that you have to prepare financial statement in this format. You have to follow that format. Some different companies may follow different company. Their specific laws are there. For example, banking company may follow a different format because that law is different. Insurance company may follow a different format. Power generation company may follow a different format. Companies who are complying with Ind AS, they may follow a different format. So all these things are prescribed, not that they are doing something from their own. Every company does it as per what is as per the provisions of law. So if you look at the balance sheet, which will be useful for understanding the concept of net worth. If you look at, once again, I will be showing you now. Yeah. Now have a look at here. What is written here? Balance sheet as at. This is the format. Okay. And this talks about what is the current year figures will be reported here. Previous year figures will be reported here so that one can understand what is the change. Okay. What was position 1 year back? What is position as of now? One can find it out. And if you see here, so normally many of us thinks or many of us talks about that balance sheet means it contains primarily assets and liabilities. Are you agreeing it with or not?
Yes, sir.
Balance sheet means when you prepare balance sheet in T form, of course, companies do not prepare balance sheet in T form. They prepare in this vertical format, which I showed you just now. Otherwise, typically we know balance sheets are how they look like. Suppose a non-company entity can prepare balance sheet something like this. Tell me this side what will be there and this side what will be there. Who can tell me what is to be here?
Assets.
Assets. This side is assets. Okay. This side what you write and this side what you write. Many of you might be familiar with this format of balance sheet, T form. Asset will be on the left hand side or right hand side?
The left hand.
Assets.
The left hand side.
Left hand side assets will be there. Have you seen any balance sheet like this
Yes, sir.
when you do accounting? Answer is no. Okay. This side we write not liability. Two items are there. In fact, equity and liability. So part of this is equity, liability, This side is called as equity and liability. This side is referred to as assets. Okay, this is a non-company entities. They prepare balance sheet in this way, and this is a position only at a particular time. A company entity. If the entity is a company, then that prepares balance sheet in this format, which I was just showing you. As you can see, here also almost same thing. Not only liability, talks about equity and liabilities. So first part you see, shareholders part. There is some part which is called as equities. Right. So you can say almost this part, whatever is there in the point number 1, shareholders fund, share capital, reserves and surplus, money received against share warrants. All these are the part of equity. And in fact, when you talk about net worth means equity. But definition is there, we'll go by that. Share application money pending allotment, it can be converted into equity or it can be a liability. Then comes to non-current liability. Then liabilities after that, current liabilities. Okay, current liabilities are there. After that, you see assets. So first liabilities, then assets. Okay, non-current assets like property, plant, equipment, etc. Then you see non-current investments, deferred tax assets, non-current assets, other non-current assets, then finally current assets. This is how company's balance sheets. This is the format of company's balance sheet. Okay, so if I put it here, or let me. So you can say if I make it vertical balance sheet here, vertical way. So first I'll be writing liability, equity, then liability, again non-current liabilities, current liability. Then comes to assets, non-current assets, current. This is how we write. Okay. And when we talk about net worth of the company, we find out the real worth. Real worth of the company lies here. That is, equity portion is the real worth. Now let me explain you the definition part of that. What is actually net worth? Now, this is the definition we need to understand. Oh, sorry, I think I'm unable to. I think screen is not shared.
Yes, sir.
Give me a minute. Yeah. Now you can understand the net worth here. What is net worth? This has been defined under section 2, clause 57 of the Companies Act 2013. The net worth calculation is important because it is relevant in many situations. When you are applying for the loan, the bankers check what is your net. When you are going for a merger, acquisition proposal, amalgamation proposal, everywhere net worth is computed and net worth is verified. So therefore, we need to know how to compute it. To understand the company, to understand the real worth of the company, to understand the position of the company, we need to know what is its net worth. As you can see here, it has been defined like this. What is net worth? It means aggregate value of the paid up share capital. One part is the paid up share capital and reserves. Reserves means reserves created out of profit. So first of all is what? Paid up capital. What is paid up share capital? Are you aware of what is paid up share capital? Company, when it's registered at the time of incorporation, we know company in the memorandum mentions what is authorized share capital or how much will be paid up. Suppose authorized capital means company is authorized to issue capital up to that limit. Suppose authorized capital is 10 lakh rupees, the company can issue maximum up to 10 lakh worth share capital. Because it is authorized to issue capital up to 10 lakh rupees. In case it wants to issue more, then it has to amend the capital clause. It has to increase the authorized capital. That's possible by paying appropriate fee that can be increased. Okay. Out of that authorized capital, company may call for certain capital. That you can say the authorized capital is okay. Out of that authorized capital, entire authorized capital may not be subscribed. Part of it might be subscribed. Members might have subscribed out of 10 lakh authorized capital. Member, let us say, subscribe only 8 lakh. So subscribed capital is 8 lakh. And from the 8 lakh rupees, maybe entire money has not been called off. Suppose out of 8 lakh rupees, 6 lakh rupees has been called up by the company. That means company has called that you pay 6 lakh rupees. What do you have paid? The shareholders have paid. And some shareholders might not have paid also. So even if called off capital is 6 lakh rupees, let us say 5 lakh rupees has been paid. That means 1 lakh rupees is on called off but not paid. So paid off capital, you can see the lowest amount. Paid off capital, above that is called off capital, above that is subscribed capital, then authorized capital. Are you getting it? So paid off capital is most important or essential component of net worth calculation. Are you getting it? So if you look at any company's balance sheet, you can find out clearly it must have been written. This one is authorized capital, this is subscribed capital, this is paid off capital. So which capital will take? Paid off capital to calculate net worth. Is it clear to you? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Now, next point is that now you see. Second is reserves. Reserves created out of profit. That means when the company earns profit, some of these profits are distributed in the form of dividend, and some of these profits are retained by the company in the form of reserve. So when you say it is retained, that is in fact the profit which is retained by the company. And who is the owner of that profit which is retained? Of course, equity shareholders are the owners. So that also forms a part of equity. That money which could have been distributed in the form of dividend, instead of distributing, it is kept in the company. That means equity shareholders are also owners. So reserves, also, which is also a part of equity, that is also a part of net worth. So first we'll take paid off share capital, plus we'll take reserve. Okay, but there are some exceptions to that reserve. Some exclusions are there. I'll be coming to that. Is it clear up to this? Paid off capital plus reserves. Then
Yes, sir.
that is one thing. Then after deducting the aggregate value of accumulated losses, okay, and deferred expenditure and miscellaneous expenditure to the extent not written off as per the audited balance sheet. So that means to calculate net worth, first of all, I need the audited balance. Then only I'll be able to compute net worth as per Companies Act. You can compute it otherwise also, but Companies Act requires that if you want to calculate net worth, you need an audited balance sheet. Okay, what is accumulated losses? Accumulated losses in accounting terms are treated just like an asset. Okay, few things. You see, three items are there, not only accumulated losses. One is accumulated losses. Second one is deferred expenditure. That means expenditures are incurred, but it has been deferred. Deferred means it will give you benefit over a period of time, not immediately. So expenditure is distributed over a period of time. Okay, suppose you have spent, let us say 10 lakh rupees in advertisement campaign. You feel the advertisement benefit will come for 10 years. So every year you can book it 1 lakh rupees like this. You can distribute the cost over a period of time. And whatever is not distributed, this is treated just like an asset. It is in the balance sheet, it's an asset. But when calculating net worth, we will not be including that thing. That has to be excluded. Okay, so accumulated losses will be excluded. Deferred expenditure should be excluded. And miscellaneous expenditure to the extent not written off. That is also treated as an asset. Okay, so three things I told you: accumulated losses, deferred expenditure, and miscellaneous expenditure to the extent not written off. All these things has to be reduced. Okay. So if you look at the balance sheet now, once again. Equity is there. Liabilities are there. Assets are there. Assets, one thing is what I told you. One is your deferred expenditure. Then miscellaneous expenditure to the extent not written enough. And what is the other item? You can tell me.
Sir, accumulated losses.
Accumulated.
Accumulated losses. So accumulated losses are also will be treated just like a asset. Accumulated losses. So these figures, definitely I will be taking first of all paid up capital, reserves. These two figures I will be taking, but I will be deducting accumulated losses, deferred expenditure, miscellaneous expenditure. That means these things are actually something like fictitious assets. Actually, they are not assets. Miscellaneous expenditure means I have incurred some expenditure. Okay, but I have capitalized it as an asset. But every year I am writing off something. If you are writing it off, I am charging it to my profit and loss statement. But to the extent it is not written off, it will be appearing your miscellaneous expenditure. Deferred expenditure is actually expenditure which is written up over a period of time. Accumulated losses will again be written up over a period of time, but till now it has not been written up. So you can say these are a kind of fictitious assets. So from this, since these fictitious assets are here, because of these things, this side is showing high value. The balance sheet must balance. This is matching liability side or asset equity plus liability side must be matching with the asset side. So since these assets are there, this is showing high value, but real worth is not that. So let me reduce all these three things from them. That is what loss is. That these are actually not real assets. Your accumulated losses, you have capitalized it and showing it as an asset. Your deferred expenditures are there, expenditures are deferred, and you are showing it as another asset. And you have incurred some miscellaneous expenditure and you are showing it as an asset because you have this is not written off. So all these three things will be reduced here, then only you will be getting the net worth. Understood the concept? So these three things, law says that you have to reduce it. Plus one more adjustment. Let us see that. This is very simple definition, a very short definition, but we have to we need to understand so many things. So these 2 points you have understood: aggregate value of paid up share capital plus reserves. Reserves is reserves which is created out of profit. And after deducting accumulated losses, deferred expenditure, miscellaneous expenditure to the extent not written off as per audited balance sheet, but does not include reserve created out of revaluation of asset, write back of depreciation or amalgamation. This thing also creates reserve, but here it is clearly described these reserves will not be included. Okay, which reserves will be included? Reserves which is created out of profits. Which reserves will not be? The reserve which is created out of profit, that will be included. But these reserves is first of all you see revaluation reserve when each asset is revalued. That is one. Second is that write back of depreciation. Third thing is that amalgamation. If some reserves are created because of this thing, let me tell you now. Revaluation reserve. Company may decide to revalue the asset. Suppose here is a building. Building shows 50 lakh. Company may reduce it, company make it 60 lakh. Revalued, saying that market value is more than that. The moment you are making 50 lakh to 60 lakh, you have to create a reserve. That is called as reserve evaluation. So when you are creating increasing building value, increasing asset value, and consequently you are creating a reserve, that reserve will not be taken as net worth. So only those reserves which are created after profit that will be taken. Number one. Second is the write back of depreciation. Depreciation means after applying depreciation, you have asset the asset value. Let us say you are saying now excess depreciation has been charged, we will write back. If you write back, asset value will go up. If asset value go up, how will be adjusting it to the balance sheet? Here you will create a reserve. That reserve is also not the net worth. Third thing is the amalgamation. When company is getting amalgamated with some other company, at that time reserves might be created. Okay, reserves might be created because maybe consideration is different than the real worth of the company. If consideration is more, you can say goodwill. If consideration is less, you create a reserve that is called as the capital reserve. Okay, so that reserve will also not be. These reserves will be excluded. Excluding this reserve, we will be able to calculate what is the real value of the company, and that is our net worth. Let me summarize what we have learned as regards to computation of net worth. Are you able to understand the point? Of course, little accounting is involved here. So might be some of you might be feeling it little difficult, but still feel free to ask me. I'll try to explain. So net worth means, as per Companies Act, paid up share capital plus reserves which is created out of profits. Okay. And from that figure, accumulated losses, deferred expenditures, and miscellaneous expenditure to the extent not rated up needs to be deducted, needs to be adjusted. And when I say reserves created out of profits, that doesn't include revaluation reserve, write back of depreciation, and amalgamation reserve or capital reserves. Those reserves will not be. So after adjusting this thing only, we'll be able to compute what is net worth. Many times what happens, people loosely say, what is net worth? Assets minus liabilities. That is the total value of assets, is the total value of liabilities. I will deduct, I will get net worth. Answer is no. That may be net worth according to your own understanding. But Companies Act says, if you want to arrive at the real net worth, you have to do these adjustments. Is it clear to you? Now you may feel free to ask me any other question if you have. You may once again look at the definition, section 257. Any query you have?
Sir, ଟିକେ paid off share capital ଟା ଟିକେ ଆଉଥରେ ଟିକେ simplified way.
What is paid off share? Paid off share capital means, just a minute. Now you see, what is paid off share capital? It is also defined in section 2, clause 64. Okay, definition I will try to rather explain you in a simple terms. Paid off capital, share capital means the money which is paid by the shareholders to the company. So definition wise, it says the aggregate amount of money credited as paid up capital as is equivalent to the amount received as paid up in respect of shares issued, and also includes any amount credited as paid up in respect to shares of the company, but doesn't include any amount which is received in respect of such shares by whatever, any other amount received in respect of such shares by whatever name called. Meaning on account of capital, on account of your capital contribution, on account of capital contribution of the investor, of the shareholders, if he has paid some money and that money is credited by the company in paid off share capital account, that will be treated as paid off share capital. So in a very simple terms, paid off share capital means shareholders has paid that money and company has also accounted it as paid off share capital. So that has to be. A paid off share capital is always a portion of your subscribed capital, which is again a portion of your authorized capital. Authorized capital might be large amount. Out of this, some capital might have been subscribed. Out of this, some capital might have been called off. And out of that, some capital might have been paid off. Paid off capital means finally money has been paid by the shareholder to the company. Is it clear to you?
Yes, sir. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Any other query you have? So this is the paid off share capital definition. Okay. Or securities I did not bother. Okay, so net worth, even if it is a simple term, but it's a very useful concept because it shows the real worth of the company. And why company? You can calculate net worth for other businesses also. Thing is that you have to find out what are the real equity worth, what is the size of the capital, and if there is some fictitious assets that has to be reduced therefrom, you'll be able to compute what is the net worth of any business. Okay, so in real sense, you can say net worth is the real equity, that is the owner's fund. How much is the worth of the company? That is one thing. Worth of the company means how much money belongs to the owner. Who are the owners here? The shareholders are the owners. And what they can take? They are paid of share capital. They are the owner. They are entitled to receive that money. And reserves. Reserves means what? The profit should have been distributed to them. Instead of distributing, it has been kept by the company. So they are the owners. Equity shareholders are the owners of that money. So therefore, paid of share capital plus reserves. But because of fictitious asset, these figures might be showing a higher value. So that adjustment has to be made. This is the concept of net worth. Any other query you have? Will you be able to compute net worth now? If some figures will be given to you.
Yes, sir.
So formula, if you want to write, paid of share capital plus three reserve plus reserve which are created out of profit minus accumulated losses minus deferred expenditure minus miscellaneous expenditure to the extent of not done. You will get the figure. Then if at all there is some evaluation reserve, right back of depreciation, amalgamation. So these should be excluded from this reserve. That is what you. Okay, so on year on year basis, one can find out what was the net worth last year, what is the net worth current year. Accordingly, one can see what is the changes in the position of the company. Hope this concept is now clear to you. Okay. Thank you very much. Yeah, just this is one more important thing that whenever there is some government tender, you find they specify that this should be the net worth. At that time, at least you have to ensure that net worth is calculated correctly.
Yes.
Many times it's a very important thing. If there is a wrong net worth calculation, then one may face consequences of that. Many times those tender documents clearly specify that net worth should be computed like this. And many times they also insist that not only you don't compute, you also obtain a certificate from a chartered accountant that net worth calculation is correct. Okay. So when
Yes,
you want a healthy balance sheet, you have to ensure that net worth is there, proper net worth is there. That will show that balance sheet is healthy. Okay, so let us stop here. Let us catch up with some other concept in our next class. Thanks a lot. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Good night, sir.
Nothing.
Thank you.